In today's video, we want to talk about a possible trade for Miles Garrett. Let's get into this. And folks, welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs YouTube channel and Rumble channel when I actually remember to upload to Rumble. But if you're new here, of course, this channel is dedicated to the one and only Washington Commanders. You may still call them Redskins, and that is perfectly fine. So if you are down with all of that, please make sure that you have subscribed to this channel. When you do, also make sure you hit that notification bell so you won't miss any other video releases. So we're talking about Miles Garrett. It was this past week where Miles Garrett had announced pretty much that he would like to have a trade from the Cleveland Browns to basically the teams that he listed were teams that are contenders, playoff type of teams. Of course, Commanders being one of them. And he really talked about wanting to play for the Commanders. He talked about playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Basically, that would be a heck of a destination. Of course, the rest of us are thinking the Eagles are already fully loaded. Why would they need Miles Garrett? As just, it becomes unfair after a while. But here's the thing with Miles Garrett, of course, he's going to command a lot in a trade. Well, not just him, but the Cleveland Browns specifically are going to command a lot for trade. So, I've seen some suggestions online as far as what Washington or any team for that matter should give up in order to obtain the services of one Miles Garrett. There's been certainly talks of multiple number one draft picks. And of course, I think some people were trying to throw in Daron Payne into the mix. Here's the thing. Daron Payne really had an off season. I don't think that would really sweeten the deal. As a matter of fact, they probably would wind up killing the deal, to be totally honest with you. No offense to Daron Payne whatsoever, but he did not have a Pro Bowl year. He is not anywhere close to the level of Miles Garrett, so I don't think that would sweeten the deal a lot. I mean, if you're going to throw in a player, it'd have to be a player that honestly you would hurt. It would really hurt you to miss. And I think right now, guys like that are staying in Washington. I don't think Adam Peters is willing to really give up any players that he doesn't feel like he can live without, so to speak. And so you really go back and you look at what can be in this big trade for Miles Garrett. And certainly I would say probably multiple number ones would be what you would have to give up. Maybe an additional third round, fourth round, something like that. But definitely you're going to be giving up quite a bit for Garrett. Now, this kind of goes against the nature, I think, of Adam Peters. Although if you look at Adam Peters in the past with the San Francisco 49ers, he did make trades for guys like Trent Williams, did make trades for guys like Christian McCaffrey. So if the player is a game changer, then certainly Adam Peters is going to be open to a possibility of finding some way to obtain that player. And I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But certainly Miles Garrett would be a huge upgrade for that defensive line for the Washington Commanders. And I think certainly as well, he would be happy in Washington because, Washington now is pretty much, on the shoulders of Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn. They have pretty much just changed the fortunes of this whole franchise around in like 1 year. And so this team, there's going to be some high expectations for this team. And so in order to answer those expectations, you do need to look into guys like Miles Garrett if they're available. You know, the downside, certainly, Adam Peters has said that he wants to be able to build this team through the draft, and maybe you find the next Miles Garrett through the draft. I feel like we still need to find another shutdown corner. Mikey Sandstrill, I think he's going to continue to develop. I think Lattimore's going to have a better second year with Washington. A full year will do Marshawn Lattimore some good, but I could still see Washington wanting to go out either in the draft, well, probably more in the draft so than anything else, to try to find at least a third shutdown guy, or maybe the first guy. Can't is Mikey Sandstrill a shutdown guy? I think in time he can be, but he certainly had a heck of a season. So, um, having said that, I don't think you're going to see too much of trades or signing free agents. I don't even know if there's honestly, any good free agent cornerbacks available. I haven't really began to look. Maybe somebody else who's already taken a look can let us know in the comments below. But when it comes to that defensive line, you need pressure up front, and you also need someone who has the ability to be able to stuff up the run. Now, that's the thing that Washington's going to be focusing on this offseason, is building up that defensive line to where they can stop the run. They were not very good against the run this year. And so that is an Achilles heel that they're going to have to try to fix. And bringing in guys like a Miles Garrett could help with that, certainly help with pressure on the quarterback, things like that. I think as far as linebacker, I think Washington's good. I think it also depends on Bobby Wagner. Does he come back? Do we want him to come back? Or do we go out and we draft a guy who can at least be on the same playing level as like a Frankie Louvu, who we all know I think has played really well this year. So a lot of questions that are going to be answered certainly coming up in the next couple of months. Actually, in the next month, it's hard to believe that next month in March is going to be free agency. It's going to be the new league year. I mean, it just seems like it's almost like a year-round thing, which is good for us YouTubers, right? We got to be able to have something to talk about. But Miles Garrett, overall, I would say that I am all in for Miles Garrett. I really am. I also think that we can recover some more, maybe latter round draft picks later on in the draft by moving around. Maybe there's some players on our team that we decide, you know what, we can trade for some draft picks and things like that. Let's see what happens with that, right? Because overall, I really feel like that this team is headed in the right direction, and I want them to continue to improve. And I want to see what Adam Peters is able to do. He got a bunch of players that he felt like would at least give a good effort and be competitive. And I mean, they went all the way to the NFC Championship game. So now he's going to have to try to top that. It's like, oh wow, I think is the standard, is the goal set a little too high because this team overachieved so much. Now, saying overachieve, do we think that they're not going to make it back to the NFC Championship? Do you think that they're going to have an off year? Hopefully not, but I really think that Adam Peters is going to keep on building. And I think that right now he sees that, okay, depending on some of these pieces that were one-year pieces that really worked out, maybe we can invite one or two of those guys back. But overall, we want to continue building. And I think that's something that Adam Peters will continue to do. And I think he will also look at blockbuster trades like the Miles Garrett trade. I think that could be a possibility. I don't think that Adam Peters will shy away from doing what he can to land Miles Garrett into Washington. I would rather see him in Washington give up a couple of first-round picks than I would for him to go to Philly, right? So, in my mind, Philly's already built their team. Obviously they're in the Super Bowl. They have a good chance of winning it. I know it pains me to say, but they do. So they don't need him. They don't need him. Don't want him going to Dallas or New York. And I don't think he wants to go there anyway. But of course, he's looked at Detroit. He's looked at some of the other teams that have made the playoffs. He wants to be able to be in the playoffs. And I think the Commanders are such an attractive franchise right now. Everybody wants to come play for Dan Quinn. They want to play with Jaden Daniels. It is the exciting up and coming franchise, and they are going to. I think this team is eventually going to get to the Super Bowl. It's the first time I've been able to truthfully say that in decades, but it's true. I really do think that this team's going to make a run. So, folks, let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do you want to go with the Miles Garrett trade, or do you want to say, you know what, let's just use these first round picks in the next couple of years to actually find someone brand new, someone who can come in and contribute right off the bat, and maybe we find a difference maker. Heck, we'll have two difference makers maybe from that, where we would have only had one if we're trading away multiple first round picks for Miles Garrett. So let me know in the comments what you think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it and share it, and I will see you in the next one.